to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this wonderful day. Dear Lord, watch over us, guide us, help us make wise decisions for our county. Thank you for all that serve us. In His precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. Everybody had a chance to review the minutes, claims? Any corrections? Point, Beth? Any corrections or changes?
No, sir. Make a motion to approve.
Second. Rick's made a motion, Todd second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carried. 88. Yeah, skip over that. Drew, before you sit down, you want to come forward?
We're going to make copies of the,
Be any copies?
yeah,
We're going to make some copies of what we're going to present to you.
in the office.
Zach, do you have anything?
Not today.
Boy, this ain't going to Rick. I need somebody that can talk.
All right.
I'll talk, but
I might not make any sense, but I can talk.
Have we got any trucks yet?
We've got 3 of them.
You have 3?
Yep.
I wondered about that the other day.
We're gaining them.
So they'll be out there before they get here?
They are 2 years old. They're in this room. Already having trouble trying to stock up on filters for them. We didn't get those already.
See, you cannot get them?
No, there's a nationwide back order. So we're trying to get them before we can. We've got 10,000 miles before we need them, but
Like oil filters?
fuel filters actually.
The fuel filters?
Yeah.
What's this?
Just some pictures I want to discuss there. We haven't talked about utilities in a while, and a lot of times it's frontier, but anytime a line gets hit, you know, it's sort of like we've done something wrong, and I have an opportunity there to kind of show that they're a good bit negligent at times also. That line's been there since March. I talked to the guy, the leader of the road crew, and he was supposed to get it cleaned up. Didn't have any success with that. So in June, we started emailing Frontier. Now I've got the email chain, and they keep passing it back and forth. Well, I'll have to tell engineering, I'll have to tell construction. But that line, I mean, you can easily go out there and run it right down the hood of your vehicle. It's out in the road about 4 feet. So that's just one example. It's easy to see, but countywide, there's several places where the lines aren't buried properly. So when we get something that we hit a line, you can see what we're up against.
Where's this at?
But that's on Rinker Street, about half mile from Landfill. I've emailed him again this morning, and he was very responsive, but said I'll have to send that to engineering, which that's the answer I've got for the last 2 months. I don't know what you got to send to engineering, or send the crew to get it out of the road and cut it.
Why don't you ask him for a phone number for engineering, and one of us talk to someone who's responsible for getting it fixed.
Right, they bounce it back and forth. The big debate is whether they're going to put new poles in. There's 3 poles snapped off. They're debating if they're going to hang. That line is dead. It's a useless line to them. So they're kind of going back and forth to remove it or just update it, which that's not really our concern. I don't care what they do. Just get it out of the road. And I don't really want to answer. There's nothing there to really discuss. I just wanted you to see, you know, what we've had when they send something in saying we cut a line, because we need to brush cut that terribly. That's where the email started. Is that road starting to get overgrown, and the line is it's on the ground for probably 100 feet, and then for 100 feet it's probably about 3 foot off the ground. No way to brush cut it. And if I do brush cut that line, then they're going to send me a bill.
Well, it's out for council to send them a letter telling them they've got so many days to get it taken care of.
That's why we may pick a time. I mean, towards the end of June is when we started sending the emails and have, a paper trail. So whatever we think is a timely manner.
I'm surprised somebody
Well,
didn't.
I will say that, the good thing is, since I've been county attorney, Frontier has, and it's ironic that this came up today because we just got a new tort claim notice about cutting a line, but despite the fact that they have sent multiple tort claim notices, they've never pursued anything, so.
I mean, at some point, if they just don't show up, we may take a chainsaw and push those poles over because it's a deadline and it's of no interest to them. It's not making them any money and they just abandon it. But if they don't show up, we can cut the line with bolt cutters and chop the poles off, at least we can mow the road. But again, I emailed them this morning, got a response, so we'll see.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know I should be cutting poles down, but I'm kind of hard headed.
I wouldn't budge.
Let's make that as a last resort.
Sometime my judgment's blurry.
Snowplow by the club.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not your go-to guy for column answers. And then I've got you a list of the bridges. We should be finishing up all the wetland signs. And if you guys want to throw them through there, there's about 90% of them down there. Just keep that look through it. We've been backhoe patching, hauled in sand yesterday, have salt ordered from 2 different places. Other than that, everything's going pretty smooth.
So blacktop and completed in there.
Yeah, just doing a lot of backhoe patching. Yeah, working on our community crossings paperwork, get that all closed out, and be ready to try again next time.
Have you heard anything about that?
The call will be in the spring. We're doing our pavement asset management plan. You have to update that every so often. So we've got working on that now to stay compliant. And I figure we'll put back in for paving. We can go in for bridges or paving, but we've had pretty good luck with the paving.
When is that to do?
Probably around March, I would say. They've not announced it yet, but that's usually when it is.
I can't remember when that came out.
Usually in the spring, there's usually a very short time, but it goes pretty fast from the time we start the construction, they advertise it, it's all a pretty fast process.
Everything else going okay?
Yeah, really. I mean, you're always gonna have little problems here and there, but nothing we've not dealt with 100 times.
Signs,
Yeah, they're about,
your new signs.
yeah, they're finishing them up today. We had 3 left on the list, and they've been getting between 3 and 4 up a day, so that should be done this morning.
Appreciate it, Rick.
No problem.
Thank you. Stephanie? Drew?
Yeah.
We're together,
Yeah.
do we need to?
Good morning.
I guess the auditor is running copies of what we're proposing that you would give your consideration to today, but I'm here on behalf of the city of Salem, Indiana, and we're here requesting that you enter an order basically adjusting the boundaries of the Salem election precincts. County clerk is here with me, and I've been working with her office in order to get this into appropriate form. You may recall I was here early in the year, last year, asking to do this, but at that time, you were in the process of finalizing your precincts out for the county, and so we didn't need to have anything done until now because the next municipal election cycle is next year. What I'm presenting to you today on behalf of the city and the clerk's office is basically the order that would establish and redraw the precincts for Salem. That would be done to coordinate with the redistricting the city council did last year in response to the 2020 census. It would also take into account an annexation that occurred early this year of about 30 acres just off of Martinsburg Road. Nobody lives on that tract, but the developer wanted the next to develop. So In the order that we have, of course, we have the meets and bounds descriptions of each district. I've also attached the census blocks that are in each district, and that will be important for the state election division. It will also help the city later on when we file our papers with the Bureau of Census about getting the city boundaries in line with them. I worked with the clerk's office on filling out the appropriate forms that would have to be submitted to the Indiana Election Division in order to process this. We worked on the maps, and the auditor is just presenting you now with copies of the order. I have the original order here for your consideration, but basically that's what we're asking you to do today. This has to be submitted to the Indiana Election Division by the 26th of September in order to be considered for their final review. I've waited until this time to come to you because there was a possibility another annexation would take place this year that didn't take place, so we waited as long as we could to present this to you. But we would, at this point, see any comment that the clerk might wish to give to you and answer any questions you have about this.
And the state has already received the rough, the unsigned version to start going over. The Indiana Election Division has assigned our county Stephanie Davison, who helped us actually last year. They've assigned every county a project coordinator. So it's kind of a fail-safe. They review everything. They're not going to let us submit something or be off their timeline. So once this is signed, I will submit the final proposal to them. If there's any changes that are needed, they will get back with us, and then we'll have to amend it. And then once everything's approved through them, you all will get an order from the Indiana Election Division. Then at that point, you would have to submit it to the paper for publication. So if anybody wants to make a public comment or have a concern, then they have a time frame to do so. If not, it becomes, the order becomes valid. And at that point, before January and definitely before the candidate filing for the 2023 municipal election, I have to go in and reprogram all the boundaries and work with WTH, GIS. And then I have to physically go into the SVRS system and move those voters to their correct precinct for those where the annexations have taken place and the boundary changes have taken place. And then those voters have to be notified that their precinct has changed. One good thing about the voter confusion is that they all vote at the Salem Armory with EPO books now. They can check in at any EPO book, where before it would have been confusing for them if they didn't adhere to the notification that they had moved from one precinct to the next.
So is all this change here, one voting district?
There's actually two that are changing.
Well,
Or capturing.
there are changes in each precinct. There are some minor changes. And of course, that was city council redistricted to get the equal population possible. So there's not any major changes. There's some minor changes, and there are two annexations involved. And I think the one that's Sparks Ferry Hills was already accommodated in your order last year for the township precincts. There's another annexation again just off Martinsburg Road, but there's no residents there at the present time.
Yeah, Sparks Ferry Road area, about the Lions Club, all that down, that's what triggered, even though we had the House seats, different changes, we were good up until the point of some annexations that was not brought to our attention. But those were taken care of last year. And those voters were moved prior to the election and candidate filing.
I'll make one other comment. The clerk's office put me in touch with the Stephanie Davidson that our Stephanie referred to, and she sent me down the current guidelines that they want for all this, and so all this has been drafted with those guidelines in mind.
Justin, yesterday you were saying you reviewed this, and so is everybody in agreement then?
Is there a map or something that shows these?
Yeah, there's maps for each precinct.
We have the overall map, and then we have individual maps for the forms that would be submitted to the Indiana Election Division. I don't know if you have all that.
So at the appropriate time then, when the state okays this, then it's basically the the final step would be us voting on the redistricting and
Well, today you all would need to sign the order if you're in agreement, and then I submit that to the state, and then they in turn give an order back that everything is good and that they are in agreement, and then it goes for public review, where it goes a notification in the paper for anybody to make a comment if they needed to, or a complaint, and then after that time period is gone, then it becomes official, and then we have to do the actual moving of the voters in the system and notification of the voters that their precinct has changed.
The order to be signed would be by you today. Start that.
Right. Because under the IC code, you all, being the executive body, you would have to sign. And basically, these voters they're annexed in, so they do need to be moved to their correct precincts.
these are Salem's voter free. You have one from the county?
No, the county was done last year. This is for Salem 1 through 4.
Okay,
And then some of the borders, some of the precincts.
you got that finalized?
Oh, yeah, that's final, everything was moved, everything's done for this
I thought
past
it was.
election. This is a municipal election for 2023.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't have any questions.
If I could, I have the original.
Yeah, the original would be signed.
Needs to be the original signature as you send it to the city prosecutor.
It's a lot of work, isn't it?
Well,
It was a one-time.
Yeah.
well, and we're blessed with,
Like
like I said, a project
secretary.
coordinator. The state's not gonna let anybody fail because they don't wanna have to answer to the Federal Election Commission. And it is a lot of work. Thank goodness for Drew Wright this time around, because last time, I mean, and this is all on our election timeline as well. So, I mean, these special projects, it's, the timing of it.
Okay, I need a motion.
Yeah, I make a motion to accept the information, the recommendation of the redrawing of the precincts in accordance to what's in the documentation there.
Todd has made a motion.
I'll second.
Rick second. All in favor, say aye.
Right.
Aye. Motion carried.
Okay, thank you, and then if there's any final details that I need to work with the clerk's office in, I'll be glad to do that.
Thank you for your work.
And just as an aside, strike the record, you're gonna cut down the utility poles.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Right?
Thank you for coming in. How are you this morning?
Good morning.
All right. Thank you. You got the floor.
Okay, I just here come before you this morning to talk about the second phase of the camera project at the detention center. We've completed phase 1. I think we're satisfied with what we have with the new camera equipment and stuff in there, and we're ready to move on to phase 2. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about today, is to see about getting approval to move on to phase 2 with the camera project.
Can you get a new price?
I did. I'm going to give you another handout as well. Chris Allen with Stanley has also made a recommendation that we consider.
Is that the gentleman who was in here before? That you're talking about, this Chris?
No, Chris Allen is our representative of Stanley, who takes care of our camera system.
Who was that guy?
Who's the gentleman that he's kind of over, that we've met with a couple times?
Chris Allen. About Stanley, we met with Chris a couple different times to talk about,
Yeah, I thought that's who
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
kind of two-part here, why I'm here today is one is to move on with phase number 2, and this is something else that Chris has suggested. We have 11 total client workstations, and what that is that's how we access the camera system. There are 11 total of those video client servers. There are 6 of those in the Criminal Justice Center, and the remaining 5 of those are in the Sheriff's Department and Detention Center. And 3 of those have been replaced, 3 of the 11, and they are running on Windows 10. Chris says he believes that might be part of the problem why we're having some issues with lagging video and things like that, because some of our client servers are still running on Windows 7. So they're getting to be outdated, and he suggested that we upgrade those or replace those with current Windows 10. And the second piece that I gave you was just for that, was to replace those. They're running today. They'll be running tomorrow, but at some point we're going to have to replace the remaining 8 of the 11. Like I said, we've already replaced 3 of them in the last 2 years since we've started this project, but we still have 8 more client workstations that need to be replaced. Something else to consider.
Where's 11 at?
I'm sorry?
Where are the 11 at?
Okay. Security desk out front at the Justice Center has one. The clerk has one. And then there are 2 in each courtroom. The court reception has one, and the judge has one in each courtroom. That's your 6 in the Justice Center. And then in the Sheriff's Department, we have one in dispatch, one in the Sheriff's office, one in bookend, and 2 up in the jail tower back in the new jail.
That makes sure 11.
That's 11, correct?
So you're asking for 8?
That's correct.
Is that a price of $23,975?
Yes.
And I know the old price was $167, I think it was. I'm pretty sure I've seen that photo.
That was on the last quote that we had, yes.
So when COVID come along, they put a stop on everything.
That's correct. COVID put a stop to everything, and it's also caused, obviously, prices to go up on things.
And the council had approved this. That money was coming out of where? Edit?
It's coming out of the jail and detention, justice.
Huge deal.
Yeah.
But that was probably 2 years ago,
Yes.
well, pre-COVID. So when that was approved. So was that encumbered?
Yes.
Okay.
But the new 8 cameras are not the 23,000, they are not in that budget.
This quote for $23,975 was not approved at the time, because, you know, the computers a couple years ago would have only been a couple years old, and this is just something that, you know, I know Bill has told me that we have to be thinking about that the number of computers that we have here at the Sheriff's Department, that you're going to have to replace so many computers every year to keep up with it. We've got, I think he said, close to 50 computers at least at the Sheriff's Department now, and it's a lot of computer equipment to try to keep up with and maintain, and so that quote for the viewer clients was not in the original quote, no.
So Kyle, will we have to do the difference in additional appropriations?
For the 23.
Okay, and that'd be on, when we meet again, October?
October the 3rd.
So we need to do that in October to get it pulled out.
Got that, chief.
but the money is already there for the 178,
That's correct.
11 above the previous quote.
That's correct.
Okay.
Total for the two, it was 202, 250.
What's that?
The total of the two, for the 8 plus the,
Oh,
I got 202, 250.
Like $202? I mean,
Is that what you got?
yes,
$202,000.
202, 250, correct.
$202,000 and 255.
Stop. You can talk to him afterwards.
I'm sorry, but it's on the video, and you're not making it clear what it's going to cost. I'm sorry.
So I need a motion to go ahead and proceed with phase 2. And there will be one more phase.
Before I make a motion, we've been down this road several times, we've asked questions and questions, and we get the same answer, and I'm sure it's true. We checked it out and verified it. We have questioned the sheriff many, many times about these cameras and the need for these cameras. Unfortunately, it is basically a mandate by the government, state or federal, that you have cameras. Our hands are tied. Do I like spending $200,000 on cameras? No. You know, we didn't have to worry about the need for cameras 50, 100 years ago. Things were different. In this day and age, things are different. I don't agree with it, but it does keep us out of litigation. Every time you turn around, if there's an inmate that scratches his finger, he wants to try to litigate the county for whatever reason. And no, I don't like spending the money, but we don't have a choice. So based on that, I'll make a motion to approve this.
Todd has made a motion to go ahead phase 2 with the 8 additional for the 202, 250. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brett. Anything else?
No, but I need you to sign these quotes in order for us to move forward with that.
Someplace.
That gives you a timeline on completion, 3-4 months probably.
She making a copy of this one?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brent.
You're welcome. Thank you.
you have somebody you want to introduce?
Roger that.
Come forward.
Morning, all.
Morning.
Good morning.
That's what we call the hot seat there.
Perfect.
Welcome.
Yes, sir. This is Andy Bush. He's a Air Force retired, 20 years active service and 30 years military service. And I think that they're a good fit. Take my place.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Big shoes to fill.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you coming on board. We hope you do as good a job as Kevin's done for us.
Thank you, I will, sir.
We appreciate all your years of service.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
You'll be accessible if he needs anything, I assume, right?
Roger that.
Yeah.
Now, I would have been more than thrilled to come in and help out if I needed my help with something.
Okay. I knew you would be.
Well, all we can say is, like I said, welcome and just do as good a job as Kevin's done.
I just appreciate the opportunity to continue to serve. Like I said, serve the country for 30 years, and now I'm going to be able to hopefully serve the veterans of this great county for the next foreseeable future. Maybe, like I said, I don't know how long this reign will go, but hopefully we'll be able to do the same and continue the service that Kevin has provided for the veterans of this community.
Well, we all, I think in the county-wise, we hold our veterans highly. And if you need anything, give us a call.
Yes, sir, appreciate that.
We appreciate it.
That is, gentlemen?
That's it.
All right.
Thank you, Kevin.
Pretty harmless, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Dustin? Karen? Rick?
No, sir.
Tom?
No, sir.
Ben?
No, I'll just kind of add to Andrew here. Of course, Andrew's been a county person born in a county, lived in a county, except for the period of time he served. But like you said, he's got 30 years total of service. And he's been very active in service organizations, which he has to be accredited to do this job. He's already kind of got a jump on that with just where he's been in his position for years in the Air Force of taking care of those that serve with him and under him. So he's well knowledgeable of the needs in today's world for the veterans. So I think he'll do an excellent job of continuing Kevin's service with us. And I'm even going to go on a limb and not to put Kevin in a bad spot, but I see him taking us to a next level with that attention to detail for our veterans.
Appreciate it. We appreciate you going through the interview. I said we appreciate you going through the interview, you and Kevin and Todd.
Yes.
Appreciate your time.
Glad to do it.
Anything else?
That's it.
Anything else? Zach, I do need to see you afterwards. That being said,
Motion to adjourn.
second. Rick made a motion to adjourn, Todd said, all in favor, say aye.
You're fine. Get him.